The former Sith apprentice Maul watched as his fellow Nightbrother Savage Opress fell at the blades of Darth Sidious. The Zabrak saw the Nightsister Magic flow out of Savage and tightened the grip on his lightsabers. Maul, however, was no match for the powers of Darth Sidious, as the Sith Lord disarmed his former apprentice and promptly toyed with him, claiming that he would have other uses for him, secretly planning to draw out the dangerous Mother Talzin. Maul eventually managed to escape from his imprisonment on Stygeon Prime, with help from members of the Death Watch, but any hope for a defeat of Sidious was extinguished. Eventually arriving on the planet of Dathomir, Talzin and Maul's attempts to use Dooku's body to defeat Sidious failed, as Grievous and Sidious duelled Maul and Talzin, and lost as Talzin sacrificed herself to allow Maul to escape. But what if Maul had managed to defeat both Grievous and Dooku? How would Sidious deal with the threat of Talzin and Maul? Would the Jedi find out about Sidious? As you are going to find out, the fall of Dooku and Grievous would have groundbreaking consequences. As Maul force-pushed Grievous out of the mouth of an arch, Talzin and Sidious battled with their own lightning attacks. The Zabrak saw Dooku getting up from Talzin's control over his body, and before he could launch a force-lightning attack, Dooku plunged his darksaber into the Sith apprentice. Sidious growled in rage and redirected his attack at Maul, who was saved by the shield created by Talzin's magic. As he rolled away, Grievous had risen from his fall, and Maul knew the cyborg was after Talzin. The Zabrak blocked Grievous's lightsabers with his darksaber and force-pushed him again towards the Mandalorian warriors. Talzin saw this as a chance to escape from Sidious's attacks, and swiftly moved to Grievous's recovering body, and with Maul, killed the cyborg before leaving with Maul's warriors. Sidious watched with disgust as Maul and Talzin left Dathomir, and he sought immediate revenge. The Sith Lord flew back to Coruscant and summoned the Jedi Council to his office. As the Jedi were seated around him, Palpatine brought the holograms of Maul and Talzin, declaring they had been found on Mandalore. The Jedi had been hesitant to intervene, given the neutrality the Duchess Satine had wanted, but as she was no longer in power, the Jedi and the Republic needed to save the civilians. With his knowledge of the planet, Obi-Wan contacts Bo-Katan and her Night Owls, and they are grateful for the help of the Jedi. Obi-Wan and the 212th Battalion plan their attack above Mandalore, and somehow have to separate Maul and Talzin. The group swooped to the surface below, and it was time to retake Mandalore. Back on Coruscant, Palpatine was pleased that he had managed to move Kenobi from Skywalker, and now he needed to move the Jedi from his future apprentice. The Padawan of Obi-Wan Kenobi was currently in the apartment of Senator Amidala when he received a transmission from the Jedi Council. As he arrived outside the footsteps of the chamber, an ominous feeling dawned over him, and he walked inside. Mace Windu reveals that Palpatine had elected him to become a member of the Council, in a surprising move, but they do not make him a master, as Palpatine had anticipated. The frustrated Anakin is unsure of what to do next, and upon the insistence of Padme, contacts Obi-Wan, and demanded to know why he wasn't made a master. Obi-Wan had discussed the matter with Yoda and Mace Windu, and they had become suspicious of Palpatine. The Council were wary of Anakin's connection to the Chancellor, and now Obi-Wan had been removed, he was in danger. The Jedi Knight accuses Obi-Wan and the Council of weaving lies against the Chancellor. Anakin's hologram quickly disappears, and Obi-Wan turns to Commander Cody beside him for any ideas on how to deal with Anakin. Suddenly, they are interrupted by Bo-Katan, who reports that Maul is located in the underground tunnels, along with members of his Shadow Collective. Obi-Wan commands her warriors to stay where they were, whilst he went to engage Maul. Entering into a speeder, the Jedi Master uses his lightsaber to enhance his view of the dark tunnels, until he hears the voice of Maul amongst several others. Obi-Wan peers around the corner, and sees his old enemy talking to members of his criminal network, when one of the members of the Pikes provides something that surprises the Jedi. The Pike reveals that several containers of spice had gone missing, and displayed holograms of the suspects in the Martez sisters and Ahsoka Tano. Obi-Wan was annoyed at himself for failing to remember Ahsoka, as she would be able to talk some sense into Anakin. The Jedi Master re-entered his command base, and talked to Yoda about the discovery of Ahsoka, and what he should do next. The Grand Master paused, then asked Obi-Wan to bring Ahsoka back to Coruscant. Obi-Wan left in his ship, feeling guilty at having to abandon the cause of Mandalore for now, and headed for Obadiah. Entering the dangerous airspace controlled by the criminal empire, the Jedi Master found that he was being chased by a number of gauntlet starfighters before tumbling into the surface below. That is it for part 1 of What If Maul Killed Grievous and Dooku. If you'd like to see a part 2 soon, please like this video, turn on your notification bell, subscribe to this channel and my other channel What If Films for more What Ifs. And as always, leave a comment on what if you'd like to see next and how I can improve my videos. Thank you very much for watching and see you next time.